What's happening? What's happening, guys? Welcome back to some fake truth. Just running this is the title sequence from Deep State. If you are not watching it or don't know, I wasn't watching it actually, but the second season started last night, so we might as well check it out. This is just a shot from today, though, because we've just been sort of layered in here in Los Angeles for 3 full days. It's just been this thick, heavy blanket, and finally loosening up tonight. I can see the sky a little bit, and to get into some more of that. But yeah, welcome to what's gonna say here? Yeah, May 11th. That's where we are, right? That's what, right? So what do we think of when we think of terrorism? This is what we think of, right? The bad guys in black things yelling Allahu Akbar and our friends dying. That's what terrorism is. That's how that works, right? I mean, that's how it's in the TV show, so that's how it works, right? So we're gonna get into that a little later, but I want to talk about bugs for a second, because right, you can read a lot of studies. You can see stuff on the interwebs about how the planet's falling apart, but it's another thing to just sort of watch it in front of your eyes. So, right, these are pretty standard around here. It's mosquito hawk, and they'll eat your mosquitoes for you, which is always a good thing because mosquitoes are kind of lame. But right, not everybody is faring so well. So I'm going to show you this little video here. Because these guys are just very rare. It's really hard to even see a bee anywhere. And we spent a lot of time talking about hexagons, and I don't see any bees anywhere, right? And there's been a lot of talk about how there's just been pollen caking everything, covering everything, because these bees have not been collecting it. And I think this video shows pretty clearly why they're not collecting it, because this bee is jacked up. It's pretty depressing to watch, right? I mean, he could definitely not fly in any meaningful way, and he comes to this edge here, disoriented. He sort of turns like that, and then just falls off the edge because, right, he doesn't even like know what he's doing or where he's going or what the plan is. Like he's in this weird kind of zombie mode, and then there's a little ant. But it reminds me of as the other animals that I've been seeing disoriented. There was like a peacock that randomly wandered over, coyotes, all sorts of stuff. Is just like, it's not going so well for the animals. And I feel like we all feel the same way, like as these animals, like just sort of stumbling around and still alive, but basically just like that ledge there, just wandering very close to it, and then just about to fall off. So yeah, tons of moths, actually. It's weird. Every year there's a slightly different sort of twist on the nature that's going on. So it's it's always a little different. That's the thing about nature. It's dynamic. It changes. It's constantly changing. And every year is and always will be different, I would say. Yeah, you're saying I'm buffering. It looks like I got green now. It was yellow, orange at the beginning. So hopefully it's coming through a little cleaner now. This is not exactly things that we should be talking about, right? We're supposed to be talking about puppies. Just imagine that bee was a puppy, like a puppy video. Then maybe it's okay then. Stop buffering, guys. But yeah, it was weird. It's the middle of May or whatever, and it's raining. We had some actual rain here, and this is it's a desert. This is not something that normally happens here. It's been freezing too, just very, very sort of abnormal weather. Yeah, but then as the clouds started to recede, and we saw some blue clouds a little bit again, I started to think, yeah, maybe it was pretty clear. Hey, thanks, man, Caleb. Trying out here. I think it's pretty clear that they were trying to cover something up out here, because as we go along, the clouds started to break up a little more, and just this it's the shapes. I don't know. These are things that we've been taught to do since birth. It's part of our innate sort of humanness to recognize patterns. It really is one of our major traits. And I recognize a straight, long edge here. I mean, don't you? That's weird. Do you get straight, long lines like this in, like, your coffee when you pour milk in it? It's fluid dynamics, you know what I mean? There's sort of rules to this, and right angles is sort of a rule in fluid dynamics. That's not how that works. The right angles don't form. So, yeah, I got a little moon here, but I hope you see sort of what's going on in this corner, and I think in the next picture it makes it pretty clear. And, right, maybe I'm just seeing things. Maybe I'm just crazy. All my friends tell me I am. But this looks like a goddamn triangle right here. I mean, comment or square, yeah, whatever you think. But this is like a geometric shape that, like, I don't know what else to say. This is it's just weird, like all of these things. And I guess it's sort of my whole deal is like, let's find what's weird and talk about it, because that's weird. And if we're not allowed to talk about it, that's even weirder. Right? I should be able to call clouds square up in the sky all day long without getting in trouble for it. Like, that's my prerogative. I want to talk about square clouds. I want to talk about weird shapes. Like, yet another, like, basic childhood thing that, you know, people used to lay on their backs and look up and see animals and stuff. And right, at least I did. And that's not really what you do anymore. Now you see I see, like, right, this triangle, this, and then it sort of angles down, and then there's another sort of corner here. And man, I remember the first time I saw a video on YouTube with somebody doing this, and like, bro, it's like spaceships in the sky. And I was like, you got to be kidding me. Like, shut the hell up. You are crazy. Like, that's a bridge too far, you know. And now fast forward and you know, here I am talking about it, because certain things, they just really plant seeds in your mind. And, you know, maybe the powers that be are right. Maybe we're all getting poisoned and we shouldn't be thinking like this, but I beg to differ. Just, right, let's work it out. Is it a triangle? Is it a square? Is it a TRB blackbird? It just looks a hell of a lot like the triangle that I've seen in many sort of patents for these anti-gravity crafts. I should just always have that tab up. I'm not gonna be able to find it right now, but right, it's the classic. I'm not sure if it's reverse engineered, if it's demonic entities. At any rate, there is somewhere at some time, owned by some people, anti-gravitic craft that is, I'm gonna go out on a limb and say guaranteed that's a thing, and that, right, they're it's just not publicly available, but somebody out there's got it. Maybe time travelers, demonic entities, you know, whatever you want to call it. But I mean, I think so. I just do. So, right, it's not just happening in my house. It is all over the world, and definitely the New York Times is going to be the first one to tell you that. But again, it's, you know, it's trying to focus in on the distortions and the inexactitudes. It's all about climate change, right? Oh, that's right. It's the humans' fault, and we screwed this whole thing up. Man, shucks. Like, we're so stupid, right? I can't believe it. This is like the symbol of the planet, the angry Bengal tiger. That's, right? That's like planet Earth right there. And you're saying they're not going to survive? That they're not going to be available after 2070? And just, I mean, I don't really need to get into this article because I know the drill, basically. Like, they crunch some numbers, put it in a mega, like, algorithm that is probably really complicated and factors in all sorts of different parameters, from vegetation to CO2 release, and everything in between, but it's not the actual planet. It's still just going to be a model, but the nature of all of these things, they're going to have to say that, like, oh, shock claim, this is what the model came out with, that, like, it turns out Bengal tigers done for, screwed. And doesn't that pull at your heartstrings? Doesn't it just make you want to cry that these things are not going to be available? And right, I just want to highlight the fact that those heartstrings, that pulling is the main point. That the everything else around it is sort of supplementary. If you really want to go in and read all the charts, like, they're gonna have them for you. You're gonna get some numbers. You're gonna get some percentages that probably have some important gematria meanings. But in the end, the only goal, right, is to get you riled up, to get you, oh man, look at that cute tiger, it's sucking on the titties. And the white tiger, like, I can't believe it's going to be so sad when they're gone. And it's going to be your fault. Feel the rage, right, is what we're supposed to be feeling. And I just thought this was interesting that this mud flood stuff is all over the conspiratainment world these days, and I just thought it was interesting to see it leaking into the mainstream. Here's CNN Travel talking about how there's a Sphinx in Nero's chamber, and pretty sure this was like a while back. They're just getting to this now. Like, did the digging guys just have a bunch of other cool sites that they really needed to get to first before they got to Nero's vast palace? Maybe it was just too vast. They're like, damn, and we're never going to get to the end of this. It's going to take us all the way to 2019 to, like, find out what's even in here. Are you joking? I mean, right? 65, 68 AD. It's been there for a minute. You're saying we just found this. The Sphinx room. I mean, guy getting attacked by a panther. It's just it's hard to get it's hard not to get carried away, because you really start to feel like everything is just this big sort of show hoax, slow, and not even that well made, just sort of like slapped together, like, yeah, that's right, we got a mud flood release. When is that happening? That's like in 2023. Oh geez, can we run another CNN article? Can you guys send that team out to Nero's thing? Can you look on our list of, like, unpublished sphinxes out there? Yeah, no, let's do Nero next. And then we can hit whatever, Napoleon's Island and Morocco. We'll do those maybe 2021 or so. That's that's sort of the vague feeling I get, because this obviously is very complex. Whatever they got, whatever show they got going for us, which if you're familiar with production and any of that kind of stuff, it's hard to put together, and mistakes are made, balls are dropped, and there's the human element too. So that's sort of what I'm looking for these days. It's like, where can you see, whoever was tasked to set up this little joke here, where did they make a mistake, basically? And it's probably going to be pretty obvious. I don't want to get into, like, reading and stuff. There's always a lot to get through, guys. This one was interesting to me. I'm not gonna play the video, but apparently, right, nothing is on accident. Things happen for reasons, and things happen again and again based on certain conditions. Oh, like, what a surprise. This bird was, like, not on an island, or what was it? This bird was on this island 136,000 years ago. It evolved into this wingless, like, weird looking, it's pretty weird looking bird. And then it went extinct. And then I guess later on, the same bird that it evolved out of got back on that island, and the bird ended up evolving in the same direction, like becoming winglet flightless and just right? It did it twice. There is no other evidence of the phenomenon that has ever been so clear, right? And it's that sort of breathless, oh my God, I can't believe we just figured this out kind of feeling, which, you know, it sells, it gets clicks, it moves articles, but at the same time, you're like, all right, like, you're telling me you really didn't know this, that nobody knew this. Maybe the guy writing the article didn't know this, but somebody must have known this. This is yet another vote for the cyclical nature of our world, right? If it's that easy, I like that they're called rails. They're not birds. They're rails. And right, this is just super significant and amazing, and I can't even pull apart the layers in this one. It's hard to tell. Like, evolution is, how does that, is that even real? At least the way we think of it is, you know, how does epigenetics tie into all of this? How quickly can birds lose their wings? You know, I always think about dogs and how easy it is to breed them. Like, you just breed them and then they can get way different, like within a really, really short time period. And all of a sudden, you know, you got, I don't know, dog, from dog to dog. Just, you know, as always, finger on the pulse of the outrage machine. I don't know why this is all of a sudden a big thing, and maybe this was part of the plan. Oh, let's make everything really expensive in LA so that everybody has to get out, and then there'll be other states that'll give tax credits, and then people go to them for shooting, but then they'll be like way out in rural America or whatever, and then people out there are going to be backwards compared to Hollywood relatively, and then we're going to just, it's actually, now that I'm talking about it, it's a really good idea, because you send Hollywood out to the boonies, because what they're really trying to get us is to like rub up against each other, you know, so we really get really riled up by how liberal the liberals are and how conservative the conservatives are, right? So now there's just like, I guess, a big fight. Georgia abortion law. Oh, I'm not supposed to say that. Don't cut the stream. I'm not talking about that thing that I just said out loud, or that is written on the screen. At any rate, there is this social issue that is causing problems, and, you know, obviously, if you have a social message that you're pushing out through your product itself, then you're obviously going to want to talk about that social message outside of the product itself. So this is, I mean, it's really sort of a good package just to get everybody angry. Hey, what if we do that baby thing like I want to say like mid-May, because then by fall, like, it's going to be good. It's going to line up with this other thing that we got going on in Georgia. Yeah. No, we might actually be able to get some riots going. Oh, yeah, that'd be awesome, actually. Yeah, no, let's go for it. So, yeah, baby thing, May 11th or 10th. Yeah, let's go with the 10th. Oh, man, so mad. Never been so mad in my life. I can't believe. Did you hear that the babies, and yeah, they should pull their money. That's not what you should. The heartbeat bill. It's just, right? It's just like the tiger story. Can you please do your best, you know, and try to spread the word without being a conspiracy person, but just try to get the word out there that, like, they're messing with you, you know, even if everything in a story is true and factual, like, the point of the story is not the facts or the truth of it. The point is to get you riled up, to get you emotional, because then, like, it's just a lot easier you're more suggestible, you're easily controllable, all of those things. So, I mean, I've just found it an easy way to not really express my views out in the real world, but just to say that, like, man, can't you tell how, like, angry this is making everybody, you know? Can't you feel that? So that's my wake up alarm over here. gotta go back to film and TV land. Yeah, because I really, I'm trying to stay efficient, stay within 33 minutes and 33 seconds, because, if they're going to use Gematria, I might as well try and use it for myself. So that's what's up. Yeah, everybody watch Marfoogle. It was pretty sad that Marf, his computer is overheating and broken. Yeah, he didn't have a stream tonight. So that's also why I'm going on earlier, because we're sort of building a team here. At least I get that feeling, and I'm trying to be sort of like the post Marf show, where we can get into some entertainment, get into some weirder stuff, and I appreciate Marf so much, because a lot of you guys came over from that channel, and now I am getting a little traction, and it's great to have a little feedback. Yeah, thanks, Tony. I love you too. Because goddamn, it feels good to just be honest for 5 seconds, doesn't it? It's shocking how rare it is these days. So I don't want to run out of time. I want to get into Deep State, because this has a lot of just good stuff in it. And we tell ourselves we're the good guys. I don't know if you can understand. I got it through some major voice distortion, because I'd really rather not get these streams shut down. If they ever do, it's good. I'm multi-streaming to D Live, so the link is there. You can go check them out if this ends up getting cut off. It's at any point in the future. Right, but that's the title sequence of this show, talking about how there's some background music, but it's mostly like this lady just being like, "Oh, I can't. Are we the good guys? Did we screw everything up? Like, are we on the side of angels?" It's all this like self-reflective, like, is America really doing the right thing? Whose idea is that? Is that your idea? Is that the truth community's idea? Is that right? How much of it are we supposed to be thinking? Because I'm all about, right? They want us to think black and white. They want us to just go hard. Do you like this thing? Do you want the baby? Do you not want the baby? There's gradations to everything. We should talk more about the gradations in life, that maybe this was a tiny, tiny bit more offensive than that. Maybe you shouldn't do that some of the time. Maybe life is just more complex than A and B and X and Y. We're just gonna get into a little symbolism. I pulled this frame, and I'm using this frame as the main thing, because I thought this was really interesting. This guy is like their guide out in terrorist land, and this really is like sort of a throwback show. It's on Epix, but it's really sort of that classic terrorism Middle East vibe that they got going on. So this French guy was like sort of their guide in terrorist land, and the terrorists come rolling by, in their truck, like before, with the hats and the whole thing. And I said terrorist, right? I didn't say CIA. I was thinking CIA. Wait, did I just say CIA now? Sorry. It's really hard to keep track of these kind of things. So he is fixing the tire, and the terrorists roll by, and they're all sort of worried they're going to get jacked by the terrorists. And then the car falls on him and crushes his face, and he's dead now. And all these guys are kind of screwed. They're out in the desert. And I just thought this was an interesting line here. They obviously worked a long time on this. These are different fields of depth, and they're like, we got to get this line. Sometimes it's just cool things. They're trying to draw focus down to his feet, I guess, and that's what that does. You cannot go off half-cocked. We'll get into that in a second, but I just awareness. That's like, I'm just preaching awareness. Just try to consciousize things, and that's how you can build up a defense against little things like this. That's why I keep pulling these little clips, because I think it highlights what they're trying to get you.
One thing we learned from Iraq: you cannot go off half-cocked. You cannot fight these people and make sure.
Right. one thing we learned from Iraq, you cannot go off half cocked, you know. So this is all just this sort of vague, annoying depiction that I guess they basically still want us to think of the deep state of the entrenched government being. It's really just these it's the military, but a bunch of rich good guys that, you know, they just want the best for the country. And as with any show talking about this type of subject, we are it's heavy on the feminine. Very, very important that the women come out on top. And I hope any women out there don't take this the wrong way. It's just something I've been noticing all over media, that the women are better. The women are more powerful. The men have been in charge long enough, and they fucking suck at it. So we better let these women get in charge. Notice the pattern diamonds always in the background. Or are they? You got to keep track of these things. So listen to this for a second.
Selling cybersecurity to men, and it is always men who watch too many spy thrillers. Gotta pay the bills, right?
And I really like that clip, because it like packages all of these, like, there just seems to be like mandatory things you gotta hit over and over again. Like hit the it's a movie thing, hit the feminine thing, and then hit the right the Illuminati card. So both of those clips are just basically like, you know, men are terrible and they're lame, and we shouldn't let them run stuff anymore.
Selling cybersecurity to men, and it is always men who watch too many spy thrillers. Gotta pay the bills, right?
Right, and she's so mad about it, and that's just, you know, you feel that, and if you were anywhere near that headspace, then you were just, it's riling you up again, right? Are you gonna let yourself get riled up? And that's, yeah, right, Elizabeth. A lot of people in the truth community do not watch television anymore because of this reason, because it's incredibly powerful. And if you don't have the defenses built up, basically, you will not, it'll chew right through you. It'll just become your brain. And I think, but at the same time, you know, we're looking for truth. We're looking for truth at every corner. And basically, that's what I wanted to, you know, have sort of this channel be about, that you guys don't watch TV. It is poison, but I'm going to watch TV for you and pull selected clips and talk about it. And then, you know, maybe you can bring it up with your friends.
Oh, which other makes me pee? Oh, I'm peeing. It's peeing. Please. Will you pat me on the head while I pee?
Did you guys get any of that? This is like the main character, and he's with his daughter. And yeah, let me just roll that back. He's with his daughter, and you know, on his day off, because he's done killing Middle Easterners, so he's gotta get some normal daytime fun time stuff. Notice the pink straw colors. Well, I've messed with the colors trying to avoid the censors, but I'm pretty sure that's still a pink straw. You know, symbolizing pink things that you should hopefully know about. I'm not going to go into detail right now. But this is a very weird scene, at least from my perspective, to be having with your daughter. You don't see her very often. And I guess they're just joking around or whatever. But this is his daughter. And let me pull this out a little bit, because you need to see that they are indeed holding hands. Him and his daughter, they're just having a good time. And if you heard the dialogue, they're talking about peeing. They're talking about the dog peeing on the tree, and how much the dog, well, okay, it's complicated. First of all, he says, like, oh, I love chocolate so much, you know, from the dog's point of view. Like, if you know one thing about chocolate and dogs, you know that that's like poison. That's not what you give dogs. But he's talking from the perspective of the dog, and he's like, oh, that chocolate made me really want to pee. Now I gotta pee. Can you please touch my head while I pee? I really like getting touched while I pee. all the while holding his daughter's hand and just strolling down and just having a good old time. Like, honestly, I don't this making me uncomfortable just talking about it. It's really weird. But I pulled it because I do you think that's weird? I think that's really weird. And this is not an outlier, is what I'm trying to say. Like, anytime I pull a clip for you guys, it's something that I've been seeing as a trend. It's something that is it's just getting hammered. And I'm not going to pull clips from every single episode that I watch. You know, I watch a lot of TV. I honestly do, because I love it. And that's how I'm hoping to get around the censors, because this is not a conspiracy hate channel. This is a I love television channel, because I honestly do. It's a reason why it's dominated so hard in the arts and in our culture, because it is just so powerful. The combination of spoken words, moving images, you can just get right into somebody's brainstem. And if you're any good at manipulating these images, then I don't know, it's fun to watch, honestly. But I hope I don't have to point all of these out. You know, the Masonic checkerboard, the black and white deal. You know, another big part of my whole search is in the clouds. And here we got some clouds and planes. And are those trails? You just saw that on Deep State. That's not what planes do. That's not a thing. I got one last clip for you. As we play this episode out, I'll hang around.
I need more than a fucking apology. I wish I was out of the picture. Here. What is it, look? I've seen it myself. This is gonna be a public relations nightmare. I'm sorry for the families, but I'm the one who's gonna have to deal with the fallout from this fucking thing. Do you understand that? Tell me that you understand that. I understand.
Tell me that you understand that. So that, you know, towards the end of the episode, we see what this is really all about. The powerful Asian person bullying the brown person in the smaller country about how he screwed up, and how this is going to blow back on Mr. America, and how that is the real problem. Do you see how this all sort of adds up into self-hate? How cool it is to watch America being hardcore, but just at this level, at this point in time, Deep State, right? It's like, oh. All right, guys, I better get going, but it's really great to see some people out there in the chat, and it looks like I might have triggered everything with that last clip, so that's why I've been saving the clips to the end. Hopefully, it won't block the whole stream. If it does, I will cut out that last part, and you know. There's more tomorrow. There's always more. There's so much more.